So in her speech, the opposition talks about Americans not spending more money than they have. But I made this argument in the first speech. We spend money we don't have all the time. Paying for college, getting a mortgage, getting a credit card, because we know we're going to get a rate of return on investments, and I explained that in my first speech, so I'm not going to explain it again. As far as a balanced budget goes, this is severely limiting, right? Because the economy goes through business cycles, times of economic growth and times of economic depression. And if we have a balanced budget, great. We can lower spending in times of economic growth and have a greater surplus, but it limits us during times of economic depression because we can't spend more to help out our citizens who also have less money and need government assistance through things like Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid, unemployment benefits. As far as the private sector not being part of the solution, the Democrats don't see it as not having anything to do with the solution. We just see the public sector as having an important role, because the opposition's solution is don't be poor. But this just goes against reality. There are millions of poor Americans, and the government needs to step in, as I mentioned, to help them out during times of economic depression. And as far as the Hellenistic style default is concerned, this is highly unlikely. Too many countries rely on the American economy being stable, and they would lose money if America defaulted. And there's already plenty of countries that have greater percentages of debt of their national economy, like Japan, than Greece. Greece's situation was Greece's situation. As far as healthcare goes, the bill wasn't signed behind closed doors. In fact, it was released several days before it was signed, and it was signed to public. I watched it. And this shows signs of Democratic leadership. Also showing signs of Democratic leadership were, and contrary to the argument made by the opposition that the Democrats rushed to pass this bill, Republicans and Democrats have been trying to pass healthcare reform for decades, right? And the Republicans couldn't do it after years of having the presidency and having control of Congress. So the Democrats gain control of Congress, they get healthcare reform finally passed. So this is a sign that the Democrats have strong leadership abilities when given the chance. As far as it's ridiculous that the government picks up people's medical bills, we already do this with things like Medicare and Medicaid. And this bill doesn't even do that, right? It just ensures people have health care security, so they don't have to bear those unexpected costs later on, and therefore those costs don't get thrown back onto the rest of the American public. As far as dealing with Medicare, President Obama wants to deal with Medicare. He knows it costs a lot of money, and therefore he wants to deal with that. He's talked about that in his speeches. Social Security, this pays for itself, so the point is moot. National security, she said, the opposition talks about it being nonsensical to engage in intelligence sharing. We've always done it, we're going to continue to do it. It's important for our national security. We need information that they don't just need information that we have, we need information that they have. And as far as Russia goes, we didn't do what Russia wanted. We did what we wanted to because we get national security benefits in return. Yes, friend today, enemy tomorrow, so it's great that Russia has less nukes right now, because they could very well be our enemy tomorrow. So these are my refutations of the opposition's argument.